welcome to the Festival of Storytellers. I thank everybody that's involved with this process because we know writers need readers and writers need publishers.
Experience is not about the publisher, it is about us, the authors.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to day 2 of the Festival of Storytellers. And I am one of your storytellers. My name is Ebony Wallace, and I am author of the book, Even Birds Get Tired of Flying. Walk until you are able to fly. So some of you joined me yesterday, and for those of you who did not, we're going to get right into it. If you need any of my information, you can check my author booth below, and in that author booth you can find contact information as well as the book that we'll be talking from. You can also register if you have not. So I'm going to get this out of the way early. Get registered for the Festival of Storytellers, go ahead and get that done at this time so that you'll have access not only to myself, but to all the wonderful authors that are a part of this event. So our topic for today is seeing change. Seeing change. So I wrote this book, Even Birds Get Tired of Flying, Walk Until You're Able to Fly. And with this book, it's a devotional, and I give 10 lessons that I learned while I was in my walking season of life to help you to keep it moving. Because that was one of the things that I had to find, that even though you may be at a place in life, you may not be flying anymore, that does not stop your progress. It doesn't have to be linear. You can actually go from walking to running, flying to running, and they all count. And so I want to talk about this seeing change, okay? So a lot of times we find ourselves in these particular places where we're like, I don't really like this, or, oh, this feels mundane, or I don't see a way out. And so when those cases arise in our life, we have to employ something I call seeing change. Seeing change. And when you see change, I'm going to read a little bit, you will allow yourself to transfer from your now to your next, okay? So from where you are now to your next, because we understand that life is all about moving, learning, and growing. So the more we move, the more we learn, the more we learn, the more we grow. Okay, so it's not a betrayal to your former self, but it is paying homage to the self that you're becoming, your greater self. And so as we move, learn, and grow, we have to move from our now, where we are, to our next. How do we do that? We do that by seeing change, okay? If you are going from a stuck place to a place of growth and freedom, your imagination is key. Okay, so guys, you need that imagination. So that thing they told you to put away because it's childish, it's for children. Oh, kids just imagine, they're like, when I get big, one day I'm going to have a castle and I'm going to have 12 houses, 17 horses, and I'm going to have all of these things at my beck and call. And by the time they get to an adult, they've lost all of that vision. They've lost their sense of awe. They've lost their imagination. And what I'm telling you, if you want to move from your now to your next, you must keep that imagination at forefront, because it is the vehicle and it gives you an ability to see your way out. How are you going to see change? You got to see your way out. And it doesn't mean that where you are is necessarily a bad place. But if you want to grow into a greater space, you have to see your way out. The vehicle that we use to do that is through our imagination. Okay. Imagination gives me the ability to see a way out. And my hope allows me to believe that there is a way out. All right. So I need imagination, but I also need hope. So if you guys are out there, you can drop that in the chat box. You can drop it on in the comments. You need imagination and you need hope if you want to be able to see change from your now to your next. Okay. So let's talk about that a little bit. Your hope allows you to believe there's a way out. Okay, guys, your hope is the thing that allows you to believe that there's a way out. Many people want to change. They just don't know how to get there. So, that's one of those things that a lot of times you may say, well, I want to do better, or I want to be a better person, or I would like to be more disciplined, or I would like to be more punctual, but I can't see a way out. And so I want to change and just don't quite know how. Could it be, I submit to you, that you're not fully utilizing or picking back up your imagination and your hope? That imagination gives you the ability to see, but that hope gives you the belief. You need a strong core belief that what I'm doing matters and that I'm taking baby steps, but they count. Okay, I may not be where I want to be, but it counts. And so that hope allows me to grab hold and stake my claim to give me an anchor from my now to my next. So with seeing change, there's something that comes with that. And it's another C word. And that word, guys, is choices. It's choices. Okay. Changes and choices. Change is conceived when we can see it. How do we know that the change has been fully birthed? Because now I can see that change, right? So for example, if, we're coming off the holidays and you want to get rid of some of those extra holiday pounds. So what do? You say, okay, I'm going to, eat better and start going to the gym. That first day, you're not going to really see much because you're starting the process. But as time goes by, change conceived, I will be able to see it. Why? Because my pants will fit a little bit different. Why? Because the pounds on the scale will go down some. Why? Because I may have more energy to complete tasks. So all of these things are built into change. My choices help me to make a change. Okay. Change is also come when we replace the old with the new. Okay. And when you're replacing the old with the new, I got to tell you something. This is a secret. I want you to lean into this secret. When you replace the old with the new, there's always going to be one thing, and that thing is tension. Anytime you replace the old with the new, there will always be tension. Thank you out there. My name, if you read the back of the book, you can see how I came up with that name. It was actually a day with me and my son. Very creative, but it was very something that hit me like an epiphany, and I knew I had to write about it. So yes, even birds get tired of flying. So we're talking about how to go from our now to our next, how to see change in our life. How do we get to a place where this change birth choices? And I was saying that we have to be willing to replace the old with the new, the old habits with the new habits. How does that work? That works like this. There's going to be tension there, y'all. There's going to be some tension because the old doesn't want to give up its spot. It's comfortable there. The old doesn't want to give that up, but the new is calling you. And so because the new is calling you, you may find that the old is even hostile to the new. Okay. Why? Because whenever you have change, there's always going to be some sort of loss. I wish my mama would have told me that. Whenever you have change, you're always going to encounter some type of loss, guys. Why do you think it's so hard for people to move after they stayed somewhere for so long, even though they hate it there? They're losing something. Why do you think it's so hard for people to lose a job where they're being mistreated? Because they don't want to change, because in that change, it's going to be a loss. There's going to be the unknown. There's going to be something I never did before. So I'm telling you, if you want to get to a place of new, if you want to get to a place of change, you have to mitigate your losses. That means I know the loss is coming, but what is calling me, the newness, the greater, is going to be better than what I'm giving up. This is an exercise that you can use with your children, with your colleagues, with your mates, with your family. Because a lot of times you may have a wonderful idea and you want people to get on board, and you're wondering why they're not getting on board. And you're like, this is a great idea. Why won't you follow me? Why won't we do this? Why aren't everybody as happy and as gung-ho as I am? And it's simply because they know if they change things, there's going to be a loss. So what you can do is to understand the loss, to think about what those losses are going to be, and to mitigate them by offering them insight into where we're going is better than what we're using. The change will be worth it. So if I were to go to a car lot and I saw a group of people, and the people were looking to purchase a new car because their car was a jalopy or it wasn't working anymore, and I talk to those 2 or 3 people and I say, hey guys, I want to give you a car. I want to give you a car. Here are the keys to this car. And those people may say, what's the catch? What do I have to do to get that car back? And I say, no, I just want to make sure that you go from your now to your next. And but the thing about it is you have to give me your old car in order for me to give you this new car. Okay. You have to give me your old car in order for me to give you this new car. And what that happens with that is now people are starting to feel the pull of exchange and possible loss. Because now they have to trust me that the new thing is going to be better than what they're giving up. Now they have to trust that the new car is going to be better than the old car. Because what we tend to do is we like the demons that we're familiar with. We like the places, the people, and the things that we're comfortable and familiar with. Even if the service is horrible, we can count on that. However, there is something connected when you branch out into the new. There's a bit of risk that has to be forged to branch out into the new. And so just like if I was to give these people the car, they may wonder about the car. They may wonder if they could trust me. They can wonder if I'm giving them a limit. They have all of these thoughts going through their mind. And I'm trying to reassure them that the new car is better than the old car, but I cannot give you the keys to this new car until you give me the old one. That takes a level of seeing change, seeing myself in a better position later than I'm in now. That takes an exchange of me trading my now for my next. Okay, so another point I have here is once you realize the new is needed, you will make the next steps forward towards change. So that's not something that I can do for you or anyone can do for you. You have to see that the new is needed in order for you to make steps forward towards change. When you're pressuring someone to do something they don't want to do, and it's out of season and they're not quite ready, it's not going to have lasting results because they were forced into that. But when they can see the change for themselves, you won't have to beg them anymore. They will be ready to make that change. There's something that my mom used to tell me years ago. She used to say, Ebony, you don't have to force people into anything, because you telling them, it's just wearing you out. You're telling her the same thing every day. It's wearing you out. When your friend gets sick and tired of being sick and tired, you won't have to tell them what to do. They will find a way to make a change. So there is a bit of coming to the end of yourself that it takes for you to see change, for you to move into the new. Hi, Riley. Thank you for your comment. Imagination is key. Everything starts from imagination. The image we all aim for. Absolutely. Imagination gives you the ability to see your way out. It gives you the ability to see your way out. Because you know what? When you think about it, I can recall points and times in my life where I didn't have the money. Okay. I was a teacher. We don't make a lot. So I didn't have the money to launch all of these ideas and to do all of these different things. All I had was just my imagination, was my ability to write on paper, to script it, to say, okay, well, I'm doing this now, but in 5 years, I want to be doing something else later. So how does that look for me now? That means I need to start making changes now. I could imagine a different life. So it's such a powerful tool, because my imagination takes me from right here, Chloe, like you say, imagination and hope together. Oh my gosh, it's a potent combination for development. Yes, because why do you think kids are always in a joyful place? When you have happy, healthy kids, I was a teacher for a long time, and I could always tell those kids, because you know what? Even when bad things happen, they were so resilient. Why? Because imagination and hope were at work. They were both at work with those children. And so if we can adopt that childlike, okay, well, I don't see it. Well, this may not be happening. Well, I may not be in the relationship I want to be in, or, I may not live in the place I want to live in, or I may not have my character developed in a space where I want it to be. So I don't have that now, but I can imagine a better me. And in imagining a better me, I can see change. And then that hope gives me the belief that I need, that, you know what, if I can believe the best for my children, if I can believe the best for my colleagues, if I can believe the best for my spouse, if I can believe the best for everybody and everything around me, what disservice is that for me not to believe the best for me? That gives you the wellspring of hope that you're going to need to see change. Because hope is going to say, you know what? I'm hoping for the better. Yes, things aren't going right. Yes, things are sky high. Yes, this is going on here, but I'm hoping for the better. And I'm going to imagine a way out, and I'm going to start to script that way out. One day at a time, one word at a time, one paragraph at a time, one new event at a time, one new risk taken at a time. And then I will be able to see change, because the more you step out into something, the stronger your confidence gets in that area. Yes, Kathy, it delivers a message from the get-go, because we have to understand that, I may not be flying, but honey, I'm moving. I may not be flying, but I'm walking, and all of it counts. You can't change what you don't see first. When you see differently, you will say differently. So this is another component that we can add in, is if I want to see change in my life, I have my imagination, I have my hope, but I also got to start changing my words. We talked about this yesterday in our author booths, about how our words create our worlds. And not only do they create our worlds and they frame them, but our words give evidence of what's in our heart. They always betray us. If you ever want to know what's in somebody's heart, talk to them. Have a conversation with them. Take them to lunch. You want to know what's going on with your kids? Talk to them. You want to know what's going on with your significant other? Talk to them. Talk to them, because your words give a window to what's in your heart. And so if we want to see change, first, we want to be able to see and say differently. Okay. So we want to say what we want to see. We want to say what we pulled out in that imaginative space. We want to say okay, this is not it, but by 6 months, I want to see this. So I want to start saying that thing. I want to start writing it. I want to start putting it up, because when you start to see differently, you will speak differently. This is the catalyst you need for change. Change appears as a choice, and all choices carry outcomes. Changes appear as choice, and all choices carry outcomes. My imagination, my hope, and my speech have to be in alignment if I want to be able to see change. So I have some questions for you all. And those questions are, when you see differently, you'll be able to speak differently. What changes do you want to see in your life for 2024? What changes do you want to see in your life for February? This is a great time to start planning for February because we're on the end of January. How will you then align your seeing and your speaking? What steps are you willing to make towards change? What tangible steps are you willing to make towards change? We know that change involves loss, and then with loss, I may have to give up something. But what I'm getting, just like that new car, I have to give up the old car. What am I willing to do so that I can see differently, so that I can speak differently? What changes do you want to see? All right. So we're coming to that time in our author's booth where if you guys have any questions for me, today's topic is about change. Again, I am Ebony Wallace, the author of Even Birds Get Tired of Flying, Walk Until You're Able to Fly Again. This handy dandy devotional is going to just give you the walking lessons that I learned while I had to go through a season of transition. So if you're in a transitional space in your life and you want some guidance, this book will help you with that. The dub title I have is "This is the ultimate guide to keeping it moving," because sometimes we just want to stop. We get stuck. We don't want to go any further. But when you have someone who has already been there and they're saying, honey, come on, that's what this book does for you. So if you guys have any questions, you want to go ahead and drop them. I am available for the next couple of minutes or so to take those questions. If not, I will just continue with our topic for seeing change. So I'm going to go ahead and write in the chat myself so that you guys can have it. Our keywords for today are imagination. Your words have a magical way of transporting us into different worlds. Betty Miller, yes, yes. Snaps. I absolutely agree, because our words carry energy, they carry frequency, and they are building out for us. And again, they're telling us what's in our heart. So if our words come into alignment with this new thing that we're imagining, with our hope, our beliefs, and our words, if we can have all three of those working in tandem, you can change your life this year. You can change your life this year. Many times we think that our life is based on the external locus of control. Okay, so what's that? That's society, that's politics, that's the news, that's what's going on in the world, that's what's bad with people, that's what I can't control, that's what I see going on in the school system, in the governmental system, in arts and entertainment. It's all these different things. It's COVID-19. It's all of these things that are coming at us that are external, and we are digging in deep in them, and it's in our external locus of control, meaning we can't ever control those guys, ever. We can't control our external locus of control. We can control our internal locus of control. Julia, absolutely, I agree. Self-reflection is indeed a life-changing process. The biggest thing when we want to talk about EQ or emotional intelligence, one of the tenets of that is self-awareness. I can't be present fully with others if I don't know how I'm showing up. Because I can think that I'm great and I'm amazing and I'm coming off as one way, and somebody else may think that I'm rude and condescending. So what I have to do is submit what I think about myself if I want to be emotionally intelligent, and to others get feedback from them so that I can be able to do a self-reflection process. So when I'm self-aware and I can self-reflect, this book helps us do that because it asks us those questions. When I can do those two things, now I'm becoming emotionally intelligent. And it's not just about how I feel about myself, but it's how other people feel around me. Do people feel safe when they're around me? Am I helping people to get to a place of change? Am I allowing people a space to come in, to relax, and to not have to perform? Am I causing what's burdening me to be a burden for others? That helps with self-reflection. Hey there, William. Oh, I love that name, William Wander. That's a really cool name. A step towards finding your true self is through self-reflection. Absolutely. And if I was teaching my class, I would say, guys, what is a root word, a part of self-reflection? The word reflect. Where do we see reflections? In the mirror, right? Every morning we get up. No one just runs out of the house. That's crazy. We get up, we brush our teeth, we're looking in the mirror. We're reflecting on, is there anything out of place? Is my hair out of place? Did I wipe my eyes well? Do I need to blow my nose? I'm reflecting on myself. So what I'm doing is I'm correcting those things that when I go out into the real world, I can be my true self and my best self. So yes, self-reflection is the key to knowing yourself. You won't ever fall into your true identity until you know who you are. You won't ever see change until you know who you are. My mom likes to say, listen, if you don't keep it real with yourself, you'll never keep it real with God, and you'll never keep it real with other people. So we got to keep it real, y'all. We got to keep it real with ourselves. If you know you're a procrastinator and you've been pushing stuff off, if you want to see change, you need to imagine yourself getting things done on time. And then after the imagination, put it into a plan and start today. Don't push it off until tomorrow. Reflect upon yourself. Know who you are. And if what you're finding as you're reflecting and is something you don't like, just like we do every morning in the mirror, get a washcloth and wash it off. Start afresh. Every day is a fresh day. Every day is a fresh day. Every day is a fresh day. I would tell my students when they would come to my classroom door, I did this for 20 years. Every day is a fresh day. I don't care if you had a bad day yesterday. I don't care if you got in a fight yesterday. I don't care if you broke up with your girlfriend. Listen, today is a fresh day. And if you can take that approach into every day, your imagination, your hope, your speech will all begin to line up for you, which will lead you into a place of self-awareness, self-reflection that gets you to a place of being emotionally intelligent. We have a lot of people who have high IQs, who are intelligent in books, but it takes another thing to be able to connect with people and to be emotionally intelligent, to understand if you have the space for someone else, if they have the space for you, and to be able to bring that change to our fellow men so that we can make this world a better place for everyone, for all of us to be in. So I thank you all for joining us today in our author's booth. I am author Ebony Wallace, and the name of my book, the name of my book is When Even Birds Get Tired of Flying, Walk Until You're Able to Fly. So Cassandra is chiming in. It's always the start, the first step. That's the scariest. Yes, honey. Yes, Cassandra, I agree. All we need to do is overcome it, and life is smooth sailing from then on. Yes. And then you start getting bigger challenges. But you know what? You won't be so afraid with the big challenge. Why? Because you just passed the medium challenge. And before the medium challenge, you had the small challenge. And so it builds. So every time you take that first step, there's no stopping you. If you need to start walking, take the first step. If you want to go back to school, take the first class. Whatever you want to do, that first step. Cassandra, thank you for your insight. Thank you, everybody that joined me at Author's Booth today. Thank you for joining the Festival of Storytellers. If you have not registered, go ahead and register. You guys can catch me back here tomorrow in the Author's Booth. You can contact me with the information that's down below, and we love to see you. Have a great and wonderful day.